There are many concerns about this emerging technology that's now seemingly going to go everywhere. Just how concerned do regulators and we as consumers need to be about the coming months and years?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I think we do have to proceed with caution because at the end of the day, these companies have fiduciary duties to shareholders, not to the general public. And it's not as if any of these companies are trying to cause harm in intentional ways, but they are moving at a pace that's prioritizing market announcements and market expectations, with safety and due diligence perhaps taking a back seat. We're seeing some ethically concerned decision making when it comes to the recent Scarlett Johansson versus OpenAI scandal. When it comes to Microsoft's recent announcements, I think the program is called Recall, where it stores everything that you've done on your computer, and you can kind of pull that up at any point. But it would include things like passwords and things that are sensitive. So I do think that is where regulators come in. Market demands are where companies put their interest, and regulators help guide and ensure the incentives are in line with society and humanity more broadly.
Daniel, it doesn't seem out of the realm of reason for us as human beings and as consumers to react more negatively now, but then gradually become more comfortable with the idea of having AI as a bigger presence in our lives. I'm not going to set off everybody's home devices, but you know the ones I'm talking about from Amazon and from Google and everything else. We didn't want them in our houses before, but now many houses just come almost by default with them, or we put them in actively. How long does it take before we just get used to the idea of AI?
Dominic, this is like every other proliferated tech trend of the past few decades. We will eventually completely not pay attention at all to the fact that we are giving all of our data, all of our privacy. That's not exactly what tech counts on. Tech is trying to drive an experience, but they need the data to do it. And over time, we basically have given everything up from a privacy standpoint in order to create these amazing experiences. And the trade-offs are always, what people have to consider. But whether it's been social media, whether it's been mobile and iOS, whether it's been these new Copilot Plus PCs, which are going to be amazing, people are looking at the risk and saying, well, I've already given everything to Facebook or Meta. I've given it to Instagram, and I've given it to, you pick the app, I've given it. And so I also think this is going to drive a huge trend in the enterprise, which I saw all week long here at IBM, at Dell, towards private AI. Enterprises are going to have to figure out the balance between doing AI on-prem and protecting people's data, and basically launching this at the pace that the market wants in order to deliver to the shareholders, as the other guest suggested.
Sinead, I want to sort of ask it in the following way. Whose side are you on? Scarlett Johansson's or Sam Altman's in ChatGPT? And my point is, she's furious that they asked her to use her voice, and it kind of sounds like tried to do it without her permission. But from their point of view, you could almost see it's flattering that they would ask her at all. Couldn't they just go create something, they could use AI and say, give me something that sounds friendly and warm and unassuming and almost kind of sexy and make that, the voice of this. So where do you come down on this whole back and forth? What does it tell us?
Yeah, I think to me, it really shines a light on the lack of judgment and ethical decision-making that's happening at OpenAI. I'm not sure where it will net out in terms of the legalities. They did seem to hire another actor, but OpenAI is also one of the most well-funded AI startups. So I highly doubt they didn't seek at least some legal counsel on this, meaning they probably knew they could get away with this legally, but just because something's legally okay, it doesn't mean it ethically checks out. So I put it to the public. Do we think that they have our best interest at hand when they're making these types of decisions? And this one raises a lot of ethical red flags to me. I think it could have easily been avoided. And as you had mentioned, all of the voices that could be chosen, when Scarlett said no, why would you make a decision that ends you in this situation to begin with? So I question the judgment, and I question the decision making. And this is one of the most significant AI companies of our time. So I don't take that lightly, that these are the types of decisions and trade-offs that they're making. And I'm a little bit concerned there.